What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions Podcast. This is our new episode, and we're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Check us out on YouTube. Leave comments down below and subscribe. Then, if you looking us up, we're strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com if you want to email us future fitness questions. Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Podcast.
Pod.
I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Are you?
Am I?
Are you? Well,
we also just did an OnlyFans.
All feet pics next to weights.
Yeah, next to like a dumbbell.
Ooh, look at Edwin's feet next to this dumbbell.
All stinky, dude.
Ooh, look at him pick up that kettlebell.
Yeah, he's got dexterity. It's from training.
All right, what I really want to talk about today is, dude, since being here and changing my environment and going to different gyms and working out makes a huge difference.
It does.
Sometimes you just need a change in environment when it comes to working out.
Yeah, I do understand, a lot of my clients have like home gyms or things that they've spent money on to try and make a place at home, right, to work out and stuff. But it's kind of hard sometimes, to be at the place where you usually relax or you usually sleep or whatever, and then you got to go and work out in it. I know a lot during COVID, especially when I was at home, I worked out in my room for 3 months. And then after that,
you know what he sounded like when he's working out in his room. Yeah. What's that noise?
Some feet pics. No, but it was like after, 2 months in, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I miss being in the gym, and there's something about being in an environment that, like we were talking earlier, there's motivation, maybe a little bit of competition, right? Even if it's just with yourself and things like that, like all of those things sort of matter and push you a little bit more. And it's always nice to kind of get out of wherever you're at. Yeah.
And I've been having an amazing week. Like I did 100 pounds on incline chest press, first time in forever.
Yeah.
And then like behind the neck press, 165. I'm controlling my squat really well. And I really attribute it to that change of environment, and I'm around new people. So almost like internally, I'm very competitive. And that competition in my head, like I see someone next to me, I'm like, okay, let me outdo them, outperform them.
Annoying.
Yeah. Especially when I'm lifting with Nathaniel.
You're just like following people around doing the same exercises they are.
Well, there's one person, my barber, who would say I do that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So environment makes a huge difference. And then also little things like walking. So apparently something's trending on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
A Japanese interval walking, 3 minutes of brisk walking with 3 minutes of easy pace, packed with benefits to improve aerobic capacity and lower blood pressure and better glycemic index.
It's funny because you see things like this, right? And they call it, I guess the trend is Japanese interval walking, which is maybe something that's happening over there. And it's like, okay, when you break it down, it's
just interval walking.
3 minutes of brisk walking with 3 minutes of like kind of chilling, right? And just going back and forth through that. And this is interval training essentially in a very light and low impact way. I think we're all under agreement that walking is probably one of the best exercises that everybody can do. It's highly accessible and really efficient. And this is another great way of doing it in a way that is fast and efficient, right? And getting more than just, 30 minutes completely of an easy pace walking or things like that. But it's something that everybody can do. And it kind of highlights that, right? That even older adults are able to do something like this.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it is that we are just meant to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it shows you how little we move and how little we get benefits just from a little bit movement. Like I remember it used to be 10,000 steps, then 8,000 steps.
Yeah.
Now it's 6,000 steps. Just shows, just need to move a little bit.
Yeah.
Just walk a little bit
going.
More. And walking is a popular activity, but you know what's really blowing up? Good old pickleball. Its growth has been like 46% since 2023-24.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. And pickleball is one of those other things that I think it's accessible to older adults. It's not as high impact. It's not as fast paced as like tennis.
When they play doubles.
Yeah, when you play doubles. Yeah, if you're, play as opposed to like tennis or what do they call it, like racquetball or all those other like kind of more intense things and stuff like that.
Them rackets and balls, those things.
And so, yeah, pickleball has become a huge interest, and especially I feel like even in San Antonio, I've heard that not only do we have large places like Chicken and Pickle where that's like the whole premise, but even small like apartment complexes or housing developments and things like that will have pickleball courts, that are available for people to do. I had a client a while back and he was in a whole like league, that they would just compete against like other subdivisions in the neighborhoods and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? That's super cool. And it's just something that, again, is easy, accessible. I don't understand the rules at all, but I'm sure they do.
Well, Nathaniel, you just stay in the kitchen.
Well, isn't that part of the pickleball?
Yeah.
The kitchen.
The kitchen. You just stay in there.
Yeah, I'm like, do I make a sandwich? What am I doing in there?
Cooking some eggs.
This is still on the side.
What's cool is I have a client that is training with me, and it's mainly to get better at his pickleball game.
Damn, that's awesome.
And he's an older individual, and
Baller.
It's just not just get better, but also prevent injuries.
Yes.
So when he first came to me, he was hurting, his knee was hurting, and his back was hurting, and then now pain's completely gone.
That's awesome.
And so what you do is you use strength training to make your pickleball game better.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people do not think about that, like using strength training to get an activity that you want to get better at.
Especially like you pointed out in like injury prevention, right? That's got to be a huge aspect of it. Because again, a lot of older people do participate in it, and some people just jump into it, right? Without ever having any previous strength trainer, haven't worked out in 20 years or something like that. And then you're like, oh, my hip. Then, now we got an issue.
Yeah. There's something I really want to talk about today. And it's about that hair. No, not really. Quit cutting my hair off and put it on your.
I think that's my new favorite inside joke.
So, a lot of times we talk on this podcast and people think these are like our thoughts and ideas all the time. But what we do is actually show both sides.
Yeah.
And it's funny how I even listen to other podcasts and I'm like, well, that may not be what they really think. They're just putting something out there. And I think too many times we listen to podcasts, watch videos, and think this is what the actual person thinks.
Yeah.
And we got to really get back into knowing the person in person.
Yeah.
Versus I hear things like, oh, this celebrity must be really nice, or this basketball player must be an amazing person. And you come to find out they're a shitty person.
Yeah.
And it's because there's a persona outside of things. So I know in our podcast that I take more of a one leaning way, and then you take more of another leaning way, right? And we've heard things, and it's not always what we really think, because we talk off the air what we really think.
Yeah, and I think that you got to understand too, it's like even with social media influencers and things like that, like a lot of these people are sort of like playing a character almost, right? And now I do think that we're pretty much who we are on here as we are. If anything, we're maybe more of a pulled back version on the podcast, Yeah. But I mean, we were just talking earlier that, something happened recently, and I was like, I kind of agree with that stance on it. And I think that most people will probably be surprised that I did. But again, it's like, we're just talking about points and trying to make different,
we want people to challenge their minds.
Yeah. Challenge your mindset. Right. And, there's a lot of times where you say something and I'm like, wow, I didn't think of it that way, or I'm sure vice versa. But I think it's important to hear the discourse, right, around certain subjects and how people perceive them and what are all of the different perceptions, right? And how can you maybe apply some of that to you, or at the very least, just understand, where the other person is coming from or other side, and just understand it. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it or that it's right or wrong.
Yeah. And also there is truths to everything, right? That's why people believe it so strongly.
Yeah.
And in the fitness space, I'll give you a perfect example. You'll have a group of people who say lifting heavy is the only way to lift, yada, yada, yada. It has all the benefits. Why even just lift light? Then you have the group, if you lift light, this is where all the benefits are. And it helped them individually.
Yeah.
They're both right, but they're both wrong. And it's how you apply the situation what do you need in this individual situation? And I think we forget that we're all individuals. We live a life in the real world, not online.
Yeah.
And it's about challenging ideas and concepts. And it's okay to challenge ideas and concepts. And all because I say something doesn't mean I 100% believe it, but I might be trying to point out something that Nathaniel believes in on the opposite end and give him like a hard time about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do this all the time in real life.
And I think that is like an important way to have a conversation sometimes. And it's a lighthearted way. It's an easy way, right? And I think that's why, we've talked in the past about like how comedians are important because they kind of bring tough issues.
Whoa.
that are like hard to talk about in a easier context, And I think that challenging yourself is number one. I mean, again, in the fitness world, literally as you're lifting weights, like, are you not just challenging yourself to try and get better? Right. And this is the same thing whenever you're having a conversation or things like that. It's like, challenge yourself to hear this other person's side or hear what they have to say or why they have to say it. Because at the end of the day, it's really only going to make you a better person, or a better individual, better at understanding whatever it is.
Yeah. And it's just interesting to me that, we make assumptions of people without talking to them.
Yeah.
And we don't realize we're doing it. And I think this is another thing, like, if I'm a Christian, thou shalt not judge, right? You're not supposed to judge, right?
Yeah.
Right? I think you shouldn't judge people at all. Get to know people. And I think that's the step we're missing today is actually getting to know people right away. We look at somebody and we assume they're like this, or they put this persona of a super nice person. You're like, they're just great. And then they show their real colors later, or you're like, I don't know if they're not like that good of a person. And a perfect example of the gym is you go to like a powerlifting gym, like heavy metal fitness.
Yeah.
It's super like, these people are probably like into their weights. They're intimidating, but I guarantee you go to heavy metal fitness, the nicest group of people you'll ever meet, for real. Funny people, and they'll help you out at the end of the day.
Yeah. I sent you a post earlier today, I think, and it was one of the people that we follow. I think his name is Dr. Pack or something like that. And he was talking about how recently, or I guess it was 5 months ago, someone had commented on the video that he had posted and was like, this guy looks like crap. Like he shouldn't be talking about health and fitness. Like, look at him, he's not even defined or anything like that. And then he just posted a video today where he said, like, I've been on a deficit for like 5 months and I revealed the physique that I've been like building and stuff like that. And he looked fucking great. And he always really has. But now, he's just got way more definition, what you quote unquote would think someone who's like strong is.
Because somebody's definitely like, doesn't mean they're strong or
so
healthy.
So that was, thing, right? That was the point that he was making. He was like, all I proved is that if you eat in a deficit for 5 months, you lose body fat. And this is something that we all know. And he's like, my knowledge about stuff didn't change. I didn't get smarter suddenly or become more qualified. And
I just comments. Probably got 5 months to smarter of something else.
Well, fair.
Yeah.
I don't know but it's like, it's the fact that, the weight loss had nothing to do with it. Right. Yes, and so it's just one of those things where, like you said, you may look at a fitness influencer and be like, well, they're cut and shredded and huge and they lift 300 pounds. So therefore they must know everything about lifting. And it's just not always the case.
Dude, I don't look shredded or anything. And I go into the gym and I'm doing the weight that I'm doing.
Right.
And you could just tell. There was time we were at the gym together. Like I was shoulder pressing and a guy was next to us trying to keep up with me who looked way more jacked than I was.
Yeah.
And he was struggling.
Yeah.
And I was over there like this. Reasons. I think I just wanted to hit on that topic a little bit about like, let's stop assuming, get to know the people, just take your time.
Yeah.
I felt like since we started this business too, everybody around us wants us to go fast. And it takes us to slow down to really make smart decisions, because when you get sped up, you don't make smart decisions.
And what's funny is that yesterday we were having a conversation with our financial advisor, right? And he kind of said that. He was like, you guys are super chill, you're like really easy to work with and doing things the right way, and you're taking your time with it and stuff. And it's like, okay, coming from someone who's owned a business, who deals with money, who deals with finances, to have them say, you guys are doing it the right way. You're not rushing into anything. You're making the right decisions. It's kind of like, okay, well then we must be doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's gotta slow down. And that's where I think a lot of like the safety and security stuff of, you know, having enough money, like in today's market, there's just a whole lot of like at the top, there's no distribution. And this is where distribution, I think a lot of our testing scores and a lot of our inks and a lot of our issues come from, there's no safety for a majority of people. Yeah. And I think that's the first step, is for us to make people feel safe to talk to each other, safe to encourage each other, safe to get medical help, right? Just little basic needs that our grandparents got when they were younger.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think that's where we need to start in the society and everything.
Take it back a little bit. Take it back.
So I do also want to talk about this. We're at our place, and this is number 2.
This is number 2 at the place.
We got some new equipment.
We did.
You could come visit us at 8122 Datapoint Drive. Set up an appointment with one of us, and just come visit and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's the outpouring of love from everybody has been nice. I've had friends reach out to me, and you know,
especially Nathaniel's mom. Shout out.
Yeah. And it's like, everybody's come in and, you know, just been super nice. And we've had people reach out to kind of want to come and visit and stuff. And so it's like, yeah, if you guys have ever listened to the podcast or live in the area, I mean, please come out and check us out, and we can have a convo about everything. We got a new recumbent bike. We got our Rogue Echo bike going. We got a leg press and hack squat coming in. So that's going to be pretty cool. We're almost done with all that construction and everything that's been going on. So
we've been building stuff.
Yeah, things have been coming together, man, and it feels good.
Now we're to hand out cookies.
Not the ones I made. Those are not good. I'll make some better ones. I'm coming to the conclusion that I don't know how to bake.
Why is that?
I tried. Okay, so yesterday Camille and I were cooking dinner, and I was like, I'm gonna have fun because I do like cooking, and I was like, I'm gonna make garlic bread. So I like looked up this little recipe, and like you make the garlic butter, you kind of like put it on the bread, blah, blah, whatever. And then you like pop it in the oven and you let it bake for a second. And what I'm realizing is, I don't know, maybe it's not that I'm not good at cooking, but maybe I just need to learn this oven more, or maybe the recipes are usually not super accurate, but I usually put it in for the temperature that it says. And I usually will go for like the longest part of the time. So if it says like 8 to 10 minutes, I'll put it in for 10 minutes. So anyway, I pull them out and I'm like, these fuckers are burnt. So I was like, you know what these are? They're croutons, made salad instead.
Sugary.
Yeah. Same thing with like the cookies. It was like I made them and then they come out and I'm like, oh, they're warm and they taste great. And they cool off and they're just like bricks. And I'm like, God damn it. So I think I need to learn to just pull back a little bit, slow down. Right, slow it down.
Just like you're lifting. Slow it down.
Pull the time back. It doesn't always got to go super fast, you know? And so, yeah. But I'm coming to the conclusion. I was like, I got to work on this a little bit. Not the best.
So I got questions for you. And it's off this 24 questions thing to ask yourself.
Okay.
The first one is, who do I envy that is actually less happy than I am?
Oh, who do I envy that is less happy?
So I could give you a past experience.
Okay.
I need this business owner, and I realized everything from the outside seemed great, but as I got to know them, they were very unhappy. And I was like, wow, why would I envy that?
Yeah.
All because they have money.
It's funny. I mean, I guess I could take some people that I know or met, for example, like, they might have better jobs than I do. They might make more money than I do. They might have a bigger house than I do.
Well, there's no better job than personal trainer.
And okay, I shouldn't say better job, a different job than I do. And you know, you look at them from the outside and you're like, they got a car, they got this, they got whatever. And then you get to know them, like you said, and you're like, oh, their relationship is actually crap. You know, like, their partner, they're always arguing, you know, they go home and they're stressed out and whatever. And you're like, maybe it's not always as good as you think it is. I was actually having a conversation with a client today about like the concept of the grass is always greener, right? You always think it's better on the other side. And then you spend a few days or weeks kind of learning about it or living it. And then you're like, actually, this kind of balls. This sucks. You know, like it's not as good as what I have at home or whatever. And I think that makes you appreciate yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. This is a good question. Whose approval am I auditioning for? I can answer my past self and I can answer my current self.
Yeah. Past self, I can answer for sure. It would probably either be like
my parents.
Parents, right? Yeah. I think as
my brothers,
yeah,
really trying to compare myself and show them better than them.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one too. I feel like, especially as a man, right? Like you want your dad to say they're proud of you, or you want your brothers to look at you and be like, wow, he's a man, you know, not be looked at as like a little kid or whatever it is. I could see that.
More of my stuff now is, it's really for myself.
Yeah.
In a sense of, did I do well for myself, for the kids, or did I do well for myself, for my wife, for other people, my friends, clients?
It's funny. Yeah. I guess I'm sort of in the same boat. Like, I think to myself, like, did I work hard enough for the business today? Was there anything I needed to take care of? Is there anything I could do to try and pull in more clients, right? Like, I'm not really trying to impress anybody else. I'm trying to make everything that I've wanted for so long work out.
You're looking internally. Right?
I'm looking internally. Yeah. And I think that is, it's funny because while it's still pressure and it's still that type of thing, it just feels like a more positive sense of motivation. Because I think the reality is if you're looking for somebody else's approval, you're never going to get it. Right. Or even if you do get it, I feel like it's unfulfilling. And you sit there and you go, man, I thought I'd feel better about this. And you really don't.
Yeah. There's another good one. How do I know if I'm being patient or stubborn?
Patient or stubborn. That's a really good point. I feel like patience has to deal a lot with waiting for something good to happen, right? Like you're waiting, or there's a plan involved, that you're going to get somewhere at some point. And I feel like being stubborn is more about refusing to know when to quit. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. What's crazy genius that I aspire to emulate that is actually just crazy?
That's a good question too, man. Crazy genius that you inspire to emulate. I don't know. I guess there's people like fitness influencers and stuff like that you look at. I don't know. Athlete X is one of those people that I think about that's like super, super smart. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't really know if that's something that I truly want to emulate or try and be like,
What strong belief do I hold that most things are likely to change?
Strong beliefs that I hold that most likely, what?
Most likely to change.
That is most likely to change.
That's a hard one, right?
That is a hard one, yeah.
Because that's one that we have to think about, right?
Because like you said, it's a strong belief. So most of them you kind of sit there and go, this isn't going to be any different ever.
So, this next one, I ask my question all the time.
Okay.
Am I thinking independently, or am I going along with tribal views of a group I want to be associated with? We kind of talked about that a little bit today.
Yeah. And I think that's an important question to ask yourself all the time. Like, am I doing this for me? Am I doing it, like you said earlier, for someone else's approval? Am I doing it because this is what's cool? It's funny because I see my daughter now, and as she's getting older, and I'm sure that you've seen this in your kids too, like they start to look outward for approval or feeling cool or wearing certain clothes or doing things. Like my daughter's at the point right now where she's like, I want a cell phone and so bad. And, I'll be like, why? And she says, because all my friends have one. And I'm like, what does that have to do with you needing it? That's not a reason, Yeah. But it's funny as a child, right? That becomes like a huge thing that you are concerned about, I don't know. Yeah.
I think we'll keep it short this week, and then we'll move on next week to more of our regular times.
There we go.
And everything's crazy here for the last 2 weeks, so we hope to correct all that. And we hope you like what we're doing. So check out our podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Check us out on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe. Then, if you're looking for us on social media, Strength Solutions Podcast across the board. Email strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com, strengthsolutionspodcast.com for our website. And I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Until next time, guys, what would?
See ya.
Peace out.